Peace, love, and light. Coming on here to bring a message. If you find this message resonates with you, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. This message is in regards to the thoughts that we have and how these thoughts are oftentimes, for the most part, they're not isolated incidents, or they're not isolated. A lot of times when we think about something, we're oftentimes so bombarded with different things and distractions. The thoughts become sort of like something that just seems like it's a passive thought. Like it's something that it's just a flash, or sometimes we don't even take our own thoughts seriously. And this message is to remind you to take your thoughts seriously, and also to know that your thoughts are not isolated. We're so bombarded. It's almost like, we're taught to just ignore what goes on inside because there's so much going on outside. So oftentimes when we have a thought, it just, it's like a flash of light. It comes and then it goes. Well, those flashes shouldn't be ignored, because those, and I've been really been dealing with this, and I've been receiving information about the importance of thoughts and not ignoring our thoughts. And the message I received about that is that your thoughts are essentially connected to what we call your intuition. And the more you listen to those thoughts, the more you learn to trust yourself. The more it is that you don't ignore those flashes, even if it's just for 2 seconds. If something pops up in your mind, it's important that we don't ignore those thoughts, because those thoughts are connected to your intuition. In fact, it is your intuitive side, your intuitive thoughts that are coming up. And a lot of times when we ignore them, we're sending a message out there to the universe that if our spirit guides are speaking to us and are wanting to give us a message, the more we ignore those thoughts, the more we're telling our spirit guides that we don't trust. We don't trust that side of us. We don't trust the spiritual side. And the more we get into the habit of not listening to those thoughts, we essentially become, or we get in the habit of not taking ourselves seriously. And if you really think about it, if you don't take yourself seriously, how can anyone else take you seriously? But that's not even, or I should say, and that's not really the main point of, this message. It's about the thoughts that we often think are isolated, and they're not. When you think of something, there's a very specific reason why you think of the very thing that pops up in your mind. Yes, it's like a flash. In fact, it's like a flash of light. Okay, and that's oftentimes what we call aha moments. We have so many of those. And those aha moments are essentially the universe, the cosmos, the planets, all that exists. It's the moment in which they're trying to connect with us, to tell us something. And the more we pay attention, the more powerful those intuitive thoughts become. They're not isolated, meaning that it's not just something that just happens and it's not connected to your daily life, or it's not connected to something that you need to know, something that you need to do. There's a very specific reason why those thoughts come into our sphere. There's a very specific reason why we have those aha moments, those flashes of light. Okay, and they're exactly that, flashes of light. And light represents, and that's where we get the word enlightenment from. That's where we get the word enlightenment from, because we are getting flashes of light. And when we're enlightened, we stay in a position where we operate with light. So the more you listen to those flashes of light, those intuitive thoughts, you are telling the universe that you're ready. You're telling the universe that you're ready to listen, that you are listening. And don't just ignore them, act upon them, even if it's in the most minute ways. Now, some of us have thoughts. Now, I should say with a disclaimer that it's not every thought that should be acted upon, because, if you're not operating in light and you start to have these images that are not serving your highest good or humanity's, well, yeah, there's no reason why you should be acting upon things and doing things that are not in alignment with upholding humanity, or bringing positivity and bringing balance to the cosmos. And a lot of folks have various definitions of what balance means. Some people believe that balance means, removing a certain group of people from the earth, while they can continue to progress and continue to rule and dominate. And if you really think about it, is that balance? Okay, so I'm talking about those thoughts that come from being in communion, being in connection with the divine. I'm talking about those thoughts having to do with ourselves and elevating ourselves in order to continue to uplift humanity. Okay, those thoughts are oftentimes ignored. Okay, and they're very, very minute things sometimes. Like your intuitive thoughts could be telling you, hey, like, this item that's placed over here, move it over there. Okay, and you listen. And then as you do that, you find that like 2 seconds later, something interrupts that very same area that the item was in. And if the item was there, it would have been broken. Okay. And sometimes that's the universe telling you, hey, like, listen. Okay. And the more we listen, the more connected we become to the universe and the cosmos, and the more powerful those intuitive thoughts become. And then we get to a position where we're able to decipher things. And what do I mean by decipher? That means decoding. And decoding is a very powerful element in being a high priestess, being able to decode, make meaning of things. The more we listen to our intuition, the more we listen to those flashes of light, those moments of those aha moments, we become a lot more powerful. We become a lot more connected to our spirit guides. And we become and sit in the power that we were meant to. So listen to those thoughts. They're not isolated incidents. It's the cosmos, the universe, Mother Nature that's actually trying to speak to you. And it's very important. And oftentimes we don't understand the importance of listening to that intuition until something happens contrary to what we're supposed to listen and follow. So it's important that we don't wait until something contrary happens, something that we don't want, something that's not working out in our favor. So listen to those thoughts. They're not isolated. It's your spirit guide speaking to you and giving you very clear message. That's the message. Peace, love, and divine light.